Okay, guys, here's your warm up for the day. It is evaluate. It's that fourth and final part of a critique. It's the whole point of a critique to decide whether or not it's a successful piece of artwork. So in this one, you have an artist that had read a bunch of these news articles about how this is a real thing. In Florida, a bunch of meth labs have been flushing out all their waste through their pipes and stuff, and it was going out into the swamps nearby, and it made these like meth addicted gators. I mean, obviously they're not this big or crazy, but that's where the artist took the idea. So you have a gigantic alligator with meth crystals coming out of the back of him attacking Disney World. He's even got the monorail in his hand there. I would say this is probably supposed to be humorous, supposed to be funny. Do you think the artist is successful? Do you think that idea comes across clearly? Could it be done better? Do you have better ideas than him? Or do you think it's just pointless? Anything counts. It's your opinion. We just want to know what your opinion is. You know, like at this point, you've already done a description. You've already done a visual analysis of like where things are balanced and how you use depth and, you know, colors and all that sort of thing. You've already talked about the interpretation of it, of what do you think it means. Now, do you think the artist succeeded? Were they successful? That's what we want to know. So take about 5 minutes, write 3 or 4 sentences, and we'll get right back to you.
Take me out tonight, where there's music and there's people and the young and the light. Driving in your car, I never want to go home, because I haven't got one anymore. Take me out tonight, because I want to see people and I want to see light. Driving in your car, oh please don't drop me home, because it's not my home, it's their home and I'm welcome no more. If a double-decker bus crashes into us, to die by your side is such a heavenly way to die. And if a 10-ton truck kills the both of us, to die by your side, well, the pleasure, the privilege is mine. Take me out tonight, take me anywhere, don't care, don't care, don't care. And in the darkened underpass, I thought, oh God, my chance has come at last. But then a strange fear gripped me and I just couldn't ask. Take me out tonight, oh take me anywhere, don't care, don't care, don't care. Driving in your car, I never want to go home, because I haven't got one all along. Oh, I haven't got one. Double-decker bus crashes into
LP. Again, terribly sorry I'm not there. I really think it's most unfair to you guys. I'm supposed to be there giving you my expert advice, and I'm not there to do it. And I really hope that you guys feel like a few of you have had in class before. You guys feel fine emailing me. The rest of you guys, I really hope you feel comfortable with emailing me any questions you got at all, supplies, life advice, whatever you got. I'm here for it. That's my whole thing, is to be here for you guys. So make sure you're emailing me. You got any questions, any ideas you want to run past me? That's what I'm here for. Here's a good example. So what I'm going to be doing in this video is Haley asked me where the charcoal is because she wants to get started on charcoal. So real quick, I'm going to run through the steps of a charcoal drawing just as a nice refresher for you guys. Like, what should I be doing in a charcoal drawing? Should I just dive in with the stick one, or is there other steps to it? There's other steps to it, so I want to show you a little bit about that. But if you guys have any questions on subject matter, on materials like today and stuff like that, please email me. I will try and put stuff together like this for you. Any kind of questions I can answer, I really would like to. All right. Now, my first step with charcoal, and this isn't absolutely necessary. You can definitely invent your own method. This is just like the classical method, the one they kind of did in the Renaissance. So it's the way, but if you want to change it, you can. This is powdered charcoal. I'm going to try and sneak this into the room Monday or Tuesday. This is what I always start with. Super messy stuff. Like, if you've ever seen like the toner in a printer explode where it's like powder, that's what this is. Like, you might actually be able to see just like the cough of it as it comes out here. Maybe not. But it is just pure black powder in there. It's this stuff. It's charcoal just beaten down into powder. This is what we call toning the paper. You want to get the paper to like a nice middle gray. It's an important step because when you're doing a face or anything, you want highlights where the light's hitting it. That's going to be these parts out here. But if your whitest white is the paper, how are you going to bring those out? The answer? Make the entire paper a little darker. That way, when you use the eraser, you can pull those highlights back out. And the way you do that is toning the paper. Now, you can do that by simply rubbing the thing in charcoal, but it doesn't move around very easy then. So you're kind of stuck with it not getting white enough. This stuff works the best, but we don't have a lot of it. So I'm going to try and get it in there for you guys, like I said. You can also take a piece of charcoal like this and take the X-Acto blade and shave it off. And that creates this kind of powder. It doesn't work great. It's a little thicker than the powder, obviously, but it's a nice middle ground. You can also use the vine charcoal. That's the little skinny ones. I'm sure I got one around here somewhere. Hold on, I'll find one. There you go. So this is vine charcoal. It's made of actual wood. It's a little bit softer, and this is compressed charcoal. Same thing, it's just much denser. It's pressed like a piece of pastel. You'll see it called black pastel a lot of the time, too, for that reason. The vine charcoal erases incredibly easy. You can actually just brush it off with your hand most of the time. That's why we start with this one. The compressed charcoal is going to leave a much darker line and be a lot harder to erase. So, first, let's tone the paper. Now, this is a super messy process. I would do it near one of the trash cans if you're going to do it. You do not need a lot of this. Go very gently. Don't just hit it real hard and tap it out because you think very little is going to come out. Real gently. Just tap it like you would like spices when you're cooking. Just real gentle, just a little bit. And you want to cover the whole area you're going to be drawing with. Now, you can cover the whole paper. If you want a nice clean edge, you could actually tape it off before this step, and then there won't get any charcoal on it. It'll be a nice clean, like, pretty edge so you can hang it. I prefer to like actually just mount it with a border around it rather than do that. So that would get fingerprints in the edge. Filthy. All right, like I said, first tool is the vine charcoal. It's the softest one. Remember, charcoal moves very easily, so even more so than normal, keep your hand off the paper. You just want to make your mark from above. That's why this works really well with an easel or standing like I'm doing right now. It helps you keep your hand up off the paper. So you can see vine charcoal, I can pretty much erase it completely. It leaves a little bit of a ghost in there, but that's actually pretty good because then you can kind of, all right, this is where my drawing's going to be, in here. You know, say you make a mistake, you make something too big or something, you can just get rid of it. But you still have that like trace of it so you know about where you were working. Once you have that kind of idea worked out where things are going to go, then you can switch over to the compressed charcoal. All right. So with the compressed charcoal, you're going to start in your darkest spots and work lighter. So in those spots where there's going to be a lot of value, and you can see it lays down kind of rough. You're going to blend that in. And see, unlike the vine that just kind of disappears, this one stays behind pretty hardcore. Most people do an entire charcoal drawing in just this charcoal, because you can get lots of different layers of value out of it. You can use the edge of it to do these like darker areas, or you can just draw with the pointy part of it. So that's step number 2. That's your darker lines. It's not necessarily these searching lines, which you do with the vine. This one is more with things you actually want to be dark. So real finishing lines. Now we mentioned bringing highlights out. We have 2 kinds of erasers for that. You have your plastic white eraser, and this one's probably your most useful. But we also have these kneaded erasers, and you can find these in the classroom. It's the ones that you can pull apart. These ones don't erase as much, but that's kind of to your advantage because you made all these marks and stuff. You don't want to get rid of everything. You just want to pull stuff back a little bit. Like, you know, there's a little bit of light in the middle and stuff like that. You want to pull it back out. Went a little too dark with the nose or something. Not super severe. It's just subtle. So that's what that one's kind of for. It's like subtle mark making. The white one's for real mark making. I like to think of it as an actual other drawing tool more than fixing mistakes. Like, I want a nice bright highlight over on this side. That's what this one's going to be for. Now, most charcoal's from observation, from a model. I'm just kind of going from memory. But you should definitely be using a reference or something. It's the easiest way to keep track of these shadows. If you want to take these textures and shadows to the next level, you kind of need to be looking at something real. So that's most of the steps. That's the tools. That's the levels you should be going through. The one past that, and this is in my toolbox, is Conte. And it's an ultra pressed kind of charcoal. It looks like the compressed one in that it's this little cube, but it's a super dense kind. And this one barely erases. This one's like your darkest dark. Like, you really just want that super nice dark line in there in places. Like where the shadow's the deepest, or where you really need to define something like the eyelashes. That's what Conte's for. It's your dark, dark lines. All right? But that's your refresher, guys. If you want to use charcoal, it's a great tool. It has a lot of expression to it, and you can really feel the artist's process in it. That's why people like to look at it. So feel free to pull it out and look at it. It should be in the artist supply cabinet, and there's a bunch of charcoal stuff in my toolbox. All right? Have fun.